work and the hard work and a little bit of nice donations here and there has resulted in a great announcement, so I'll let Vicki and Janet tell us a little bit about it. So please welcome Vicki Pappas and Janet Black from LongRun-retirement Society.
Hi everybody. Is this on?
Yeah, you have to really stick it in your face.
Hello? Anyhow, I don't know if you're familiar with us, but we're a charity and very well supported by the entire racing community in Ontario. Woodbine provides us with offices on the backstretch. We get a certain portion of the thoroughbred purses to sustain our charity. We have about 50 horses, right, Janet? And a couple of years ago, we were left an enormous bequest by Lana Snyderman, God bless her. She loved horses, a very generous woman. And this past year, we were able to buy our own facility, our own farm. Just a wonderful place up in Hillsburg. And we've moved the majority of our horses onto this farm. We have some horses that are going to be, I'm going to let Janet tell you about her favorite resident in a sec, but we have some horses that are sort of going to be there for the rest of their lives, and other horses that will go on to become show horses, somebody's pet riding horses. We just had, anybody remember a horse called Matilda Girl that ran maybe last year in this? There you should, if you know that stakes winner Bellevaux, the first time she ran against him and opened up about 5 of them. Just going, she didn't last, but she was awful quick. And she just got adopted as a barrel racer, so she's going to start a new career as a barrel racer. She should be great at it. She'll be quick. So we're going to be opening up the farm for tours. Maybe one day the Thoroughbred fan club can come up and look at all the kids. It's a beautiful spot, and we have a great board of directors that work very hard on a volunteer basis to keep everything going. And I see another one here. Janet's here. Josie DePaulo's on our board. Janet, why don't you tell the people a little bit about your guide?
Okay. Well, we just, about 2 weeks ago, we just got 50 proof, which I don't know if you remember him running. He was actually down in Pennsylvania, and unfortunately he retired sound, but he has developed arthritis in one of his ankles, so he's pasture sound and very happy, but we decided that he'd be happier back on the farm because he loves people, he loves company, and we thought he'd be ideal for the programs that we run, and so we've got him back on the farm, and he is ruling the roost already.
Where was 50 Proof then, since he retired and until he's moved to your new property?
Actually with our daughter. She had him, and he was hopefully going to be a show horse for our granddaughter. And as I say, unfortunately, the arthritis just took over, and he's fine as long as he doesn't do it. You sort of ask him to do anything, he's not 100% sound, so it's a question of keeping him happy, and as I say, he's in his element with all the people patting him, and they'll love having lots of attention, and although he's a huge horse, he's 17 too, but he doesn't realize it is, I think he thinks it's a pony. So he's very good with everyone, children, younger children on up. So he's one of our long-time, probably residents, and main executive we have there. He's now 14 years old, and he's there and loving the farm. It's a beautiful spot for them. And we just got another one back who ran till he was 10, called Parabola. I don't know if you remember him. He was a stakes winner back as a young horse. And he went to, actually ended up running in Penn National. And his breeder had asked us to keep an eye on him to make sure that she sort of looked after him when he couldn't run anymore. And the trainer that had him was actually a very, very nice guy, Cody Beasley, and he actually phoned us to tell us that he was going to retire the horse and felt it was time. And we arranged for him to come back, and he's now at the farm. And you wouldn't know he'd run at all to look at him. He's incredible. So I'm sure he'll be adopted. Some lucky person.
Cody was apparently in Penn National, if horses won the 25 races, they'll name a starter series after him. He was hoping to get that last win so that he'd have the series named after him. And then he just said, no, he doesn't want to do it anymore, and that's it. This guy was absolutely terrific giving us the horse. You know, he could have sold him on somewhere and done something else with him, and he was just so cooperative and great. And we'd be very remiss in failing to acknowledge our friend here from Woodbine, Jessica, who does a lot of work with us. A couple of years ago, Wake Cares, which is sort of the charity arm of Woodbine, started doing equine-assisted therapy programs, and Jessica works with us, and we get people up to the farm that enjoy the horses on a therapeutic basis, and just very simplistic programs where they learn basic horsemanship, learn to groom them. The first year we were with Halton Police, and last year it was Ernestine's Women's Shelter, which was very gratifying. And we're actually having a meeting later this week about whether or not we're going to get something rolling towards the end of this year. So anyhow, it's a great way to utilize the horses that can't or don't want to go on into a second career as a riding horse, because they love the attention, and the people that work on them just absolutely blossom working with them.
Well, it's incredible, as you know, so Long Run has now purchased its own property, and I would have to think that this is the first time it's ever happened in Canada, for sure. And there's a few in the United States that I know of. Old Friends, I believe, and some of the bigger ones in the United States with, a lot more, people to get donations from and everything, have been able to put their horses on the farm and then move them off of one place. But for 16 years, Long Run has utilized various individual farms and people, and it's been quite a big uptaking, trying to move horses from one foster farm to a new home and here and there. Now to have all the horses in one place. But as much work as that was, what are the challenges now with just sort of starting out with your own farm? What do you have to do? I would assume you'd have to hire maybe a staff person or two?
Yes, we've part of the reason that we were able to afford this property, not only because of the bequest, but because Gail Wood, who was the former owner, who actually owned 2 farms, has always been very supportive of our charity, and she just said she'd do anything to make it work price-wise and everything else. One of the conditions was that we keep on two people that had worked for her for quite some time. So we have Corey, who's actually the farm manager, and his entry mate, Tracy, who worked for Gail for years. And actually, my own horses have all been raised on this farm as well, so I knew these people and how good they were. We have a couple of young women that are going to be basically doing all the reschooling and programs. and they were going to be heavily reliant on volunteers like Rebecca. Right there!
Yay, Rebecca! Volunteer, very nice. And volunteers are really an important part of obviously any charity, especially with you know, the horses too. And people love to. It's like you said, like what horse doesn't love a little grooming and attention now and then? I mean, obviously there's the odd horse that is just grumpy to begin with, but I mean, horses that maybe can't go on and be ridden in shows or a barrel racer like this latest one, it's nice.